They say nice guys finish last, right? Well, the best back in the best shape of my life. Like the checks cash and now they paying the price, right? In showdowns I showcase my skills. Throw weight around, my weight in pounds, tipping the scale. Shit, we taking this whole year. Catch up.
What I want to know is, why did you walk in my door? What is it about the radical body transformation when you read that article that sort of maybe lit you up?
Okay, I couldn't fly, so I ran in here, number one. We're already on that evolution. We've done nutritionists and kids are out of the house, and so now this is just one more step. We're trying to eat better, and I said, that's it. You're with me or you're against me. So he came in the door.
You and I had the 11th hour text messages. I'm in, I'm doing it. So what is it about this particular platform that excites you?
It's on my bucket list. I want to eventually go in a show, and I'm already, I think, past the masters or the seniors age, so I'm good. Less competition, I'm hoping.
There's more and more women of a certain age that are actually competing. It's the coolest thing. What a lot of people don't understand, maybe realize, is that this is one of those strange kind of cool sports that as a woman ages, she actually performs better in terms of what happens chemically to our bodies at a certain time. And we can segue into that conversation about some things that are changing for you, and maybe that might have been a bit of an instigator to make some changes.
Woo! That's all I have to say on that one.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I have a number of people in here going through that, and I'm not looking forward to it myself.
Yeah, you know what? But it's a normal part of life, right? So suck it up, get on with it. It's going to happen no matter what.
There's no better way to say to the younger gals out there, like, don't give it up, girlfriends. Everybody, body beautiful, body proud, and strut your stuff. So it is amazing with the body, no matter what age, what can be done. And like we just talked about, and we joked about it, with the menopausal thing. It actually, I'm honest, it's true. It's a helpful thing in terms of the transition that you're going to make. I don't think that you'll be all that hard of a transformation to do. One of the reasons is your attitude.
Yay. Yeah, but I've been...
And you're a good eater.
To me, this is just the final part of the package. We've been working on eating well.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you eat well, you feel better. When you feel better, you want to work out. It's that cycle. Sometimes you get it on the opposite way. You eat a chocolate bar, you want more.
Yeah,
and
you want another chocolate bar,
and
then the chips.
Yeah. It's either I'm really good at working out, or I'm really good at just eating right, but I've never been able to combine it in a package.
Cool. And you're going to find that, working out with a trainer, and that would be me, it's just a whole different experience in terms of getting that guidance and doing the right stuff. And like we've already started, when you walked in the door, we got right into your mechanics, because we don't build sandcastles, we build like structure. Right. We have to pay attention to the foundation and a nice structure.
I'm feeling that.
Yeah. So we're going to continue to work that way and make sure that your ship is ship shape before we sail you. We've got some stuff for you, because you can't just go out on the dance floor without a set of these. Some fancy dancy gloves.
Oh, fantastic.
From Harbinger. So, we're definitely going to need those. We don't want the calluses.
Thank you so much.
It is my pleasure. You know what?
We're going to do good together.
Very much looking forward to this.
I'm looking forward to that mustache.
We're sitting with Chuck Smith. Chuck came to us by way in an interesting kind of twist and turn of events. I approached Chuck's wife, who I've looked after in the past, and I had noticed had perhaps fallen off the wagon a little bit around the gym after some really great success, and thought she might be interested in coming to Radical Body Transformation. And lo and behold, Chuck was very interested, and not so much the wife. And I couldn't believe it. I didn't see that coming. You could have knocked me over with a finger. Chuck, in your own words, can you tell me a little bit about that conversation we had that day when you decided that Radical Body Transformation might actually be something that you would be interested in doing?
I guess I just thought of it would be a way for me to come out of my shell a little bit. I've always had kind of confidence issues growing up and stuff, and it's always kind of stuck with me even into adulthood. So now that I'm married and have kids of my own, it's hard to tell my kids, push my kids to be confident in themselves and chase after their dreams when I don't necessarily follow my own advice. So it's just a way that maybe they can see me kind of stepping up and facing my fears face on, and then maybe that'll encourage them to do the same thing. Growing up, you've always had interest in, I want to do this and I want to do this, and you always set your mind on something but you never see it through. I mean, you try to learn an instrument or you try a new sport, there's just excuse after excuse why you don't stick with it. I just thought I want to try and see it through to the end. There's just been too many things in my life that I've given up on or just didn't complete for whatever reasons.
I think that's a big boat with a lot of people in it, Chuck. I don't think you're the only lone sailor out there. I think we've all been there, and we've all had great aspirations, because there's so much to do in this world, so many things that you want to tackle. And one person, right, everything can be sort of overwhelming.
Absolutely.
In terms of I've always wanted to play the guitar, and I can't, and I've always wanted to sing, and guess what? Can't do that either. So you're in good company. I know you and your wife are very busy people with jobs and children, and getting everybody to their activities and getting them home and making sure they're well. And I mean, they're at those very young ages where it's full on. We've talked a little bit about some family health history that you have had some concerns with.
My mom lost her dad when she was a little girl, and then just growing up I've had lots of sicknesses and illnesses with cousins and other family members, and when you're young you kind of brush it off. But now that I'm kind of starting to age and I know I haven't particularly taken care of myself, it's something that's kind of, now's the time to kind of bite it in the butt now, because I don't want to wait till it's too late. I know I'm not your typical overweight man, but I'm certainly not healthy.
Chuck has not only a regular job, but another really super duper important job on top of his regular job and all of his other husbandry duties. He's a volunteer firefighter in our community, and that's huge for our community. We rely on these guys in rural areas and whatnot to get, sometimes first out there.
Whenever the pager goes off, you try to, if you're around, we go, so it can be all hours of the night, and then getting home from that and going straight to work, and then trying to squeeze in the gym at the same time. Another reason to just try and gain some strength and stay healthy. We're not always exposed to the best of environments.
I think that your transformation is going to be a radical one, to say the least. You have all the ingredients to do it, and although you're very shy, I expect great things from the Chuck. I'm sitting here with Mrs. Gail Richards. She is a member of Bodilogix and has been a member for about a year and a half, I want to say. What was it that you were looking to have happen?
I was on the cusp of diabetes, high blood pressure, metabolic syndrome, a whole list of, make or break, this is it. And I didn't want to go on medication. Within a relatively short period of time, everything came back to acceptable, which isn't really acceptable to me.
When it came to incorporating exercise as your strategy to overcome some of those issues, all of those issues, was that a prescription also from your GP, or was that just you knowing that this is what you needed to do?
No, that was definitely me. I knew that I needed to get back in the gym. I was always in the gym when I was younger, and life just gets busy. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a business owner. I'm an accountant, so I've been sitting on my butt for 30 years. I've always enjoyed working out or playing sports, but life just got busy and I stopped.
You carry more hats than most because you are a business owner, you are a professional, and you have children, and you have a husband. There's a lot that's riding on you, and your home situation in terms of looking after your kids. You've had exceptional experiences with your kids because of who they are and what they do in terms of the golf, being they're athletes in their own right and then coming back home. So you've had extra stresses with regards to managing your family. Do you find that exercise has been good for stress relief?
Absolutely. And I knew that. And I think everybody knows that intuitively. In addition to all of that, my parents were a huge part of my stress load, which has gone by the wayside. Stress is part of your weight problem, it's part of moods, it's part of how you feel, it's part of who you become. And life isn't fun when you're stressed. I lost both my parents in the last few years. So, I mean, as awful as that sounds, that stress is gone from my life because that was very stressful. And so it's just time to concentrate on me.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on, or maybe what has been going on, what you see to be going on in Gail's kitchen?
I'm vegetarian, and that's probably the biggest problem. I'm from a meat and potatoes farm family, and it's always been a bit of a problem. And even now, everywhere I go, if I'm at a banquet or there's, even a buffet, the kitchen will say, "Oh, vegetarian," and you get a plate of pasta. And it's very unappealing, it's not healthy, and often there's little or no vegetables in it whatsoever. And so I've reverted to, honestly, at buffets or a plated dinner, I just get what everybody else gets and I ask them to box up whatever the meat is and I eat the vegetables. Bring a protein bar.
What is it that you eat? Like being a vegetarian and trying to get protein in?
Probably the biggest find that I've had in the last year is Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is my number one go-to for a good protein fix. You can put it in everything, anywhere that requires sour cream in a recipe or anything. Greek yogurt does it. A little maple syrup, blueberries also does it. It looks like dessert, tastes like dessert, and it's 18 to 20 grams of protein in one serving. You can eat it twice a day. So that's usually breakfast for me. Or nighttime, if I am hungry, that's my go-to. But protein is probably the big key that I've been lacking in my entire life. Between carbs and sugar, that's my poison. Growing up in a meat and potatoes family, I was the extra bowl of cereal kid, or the instead of supper bowl of cereal kid. Thankfully, we didn't have sugar cereal. We usually had cornflakes or puffed wheat or something pretty blah, but it filled you up. And that's where I have to step away from that because there's really nothing healthy about it.
Gail is a very smart lady. She's taken courses in fitness and nutrition, and she's currently taking a course in being a yoga instructor. So she's a learner. She's a life learner. She needs to not just do it, she needs to learn it. She needs to know it.
I believe in lifelong learning, and I don't think you can ever know everything. You always have people that can teach you things. I'm always on the lookout for information on nutrition and improving it. There's never an end to it. I'm all for everything plant-based, everything that it should look like it came out of the garden. Planning for me right now is the key thing.
It's not always just having a cupcake. It can be something that you perceive as a very healthy food in your diet, maybe in a higher than what we need portion. It can be, the details. It's always in the details.
Adding beans to my diet was a requirement.
Information on nutrition and training, for that matter, changes at the blink of an eye. What eggs were bad, now they're good. Bacon bad, now bacon's good. Everybody loved margarine, now margarine is public enemy number one. So it's hard to keep up, and I hear Gail on this. So we're going to help Gail maybe update some of that information, and most importantly, we're going to help Gail implement information. At the end of this, Gail, where do you see yourself? What is your goal?
I
I realized a long time ago that my success as an accountant and business owner was great financially, but not very good for my body. So I see myself as just living out retirement, which hopefully isn't too far down the road, much more active and happy and pain-free than it would have been. It would have been a nightmare.
Can you tell me a little bit about the injuries that we are having to face?
I tore my rotator cuff on my right shoulder when I was in my 20s, playing volleyball, and my arm went up and didn't come back down at the same time as the rest of me did. So that was very painful. I never needed to have surgery, and it just took about a year to heal, or a little more. I re-injured the shoulder about 4 years ago. The first year, I would wake up crying in the night. I've had a lot of therapy and work done on it. It's not going to get fixed. It's something I have to live with, so I have to be very cautious what I do with upper body, but there are things I can do.
I would never have thought of all the people that would be interested in doing something so publicly that Gail Richards would be one of them. So this is kind of a kick for me, and I'm really excited to see what Gail does with this.
I'm a guy that has a sweet tooth normally. Actually, I've been really well adjusting. I'm pretty good with willpower. I don't need it. Christmas Eve, watching my football game, I had some family, and I went out to the dessert tray and took a few trips back, and I was okay. And then it was Boxing Day morning. I'm a volunteer firefighter, and we had that ice storm, and I was out on the 401 from 7:30 to about 12:30, no food. And we got back to the station, and one guy brought in a box of filled donuts, and it was game on, and I got that and a bunch of the desserts and stuff. And it wasn't until that night I was just sitting on the couch, and I had a slight headache, and it just increased and increased and increased. I had to turn the lights off and lay my head down, and I didn't realize, my wife said, it's because you've detoxed your body of all the sugar, and and that's all you had today. And that was my first experience with it. It was worse than any regular hangover I've had.
And will you do that again? It's just not worth it.
Karma from the potluck that I went to, and I was judging everybody at the dessert table. Like, what are these guys doing? They don't need that.
Finding moments.
Yes, and good for you guys for being here like 3 days after Christmas. It's a huge testament to your dedication to this process. And I think that speaks volumes to how far you've all come.
Next section of this particular process, you're going to see amazing things in this next, like literally the meat potatoes. The snowball effect is
no potatoes.
Since embracing the RBT project, I've experienced many positive changes personally and professionally. The main reason for this is not just for achieving my goals, but paving the road to continue to lead a healthier, stronger, and happier life. One of the toughest changes that occurred for me personally was developing a routine of getting to the gym 3 times a week as a minimum and sticking with it. On top of that, making sure I was eating enough food, the right foods, and at the proper times. Once I developed the discipline to stick with a proper diet, it became much easier for me to get to the gym, as I quickly realized how much more energy I had, how much better I felt, and in general, that I started to crave workouts. It's no longer feels like work to get to the gym, but is now part of my life routines. On a professional level, I feel more energetic at work and rarely feel sluggish at the end of the day like I had in the past. Being more alert at work has enabled me to be more effective at my job and day-to-day tasks.
I have a question. In your perspective of things, what's been happening?
I guess just coming in every day or at least 3-4 times a week and being consistent with the workout, and that's allowing me to get the confidence coming back, and then seeing progression from there. And you start to see results after you see the time you're putting in. Now that you start to see results, now you start questioning, if I just do a little bit more.
It's fun seeing your body change. Right
I'm having fun. I'm gonna show it now, but I'm having fun.
Deanna, Andrea, you're down 10% body fat. Woo! Just like that. 21 pounds gone.
Inches. Look, there's nothing left.
Tons of inches. So
You look.
Deanna's like, well, totally, right? Like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. Could you get any fitter? I don't know. Is it possible? Maybe. What's next for Deanna?
I don't think I can talk and do this at the same time. What, you crazy? I'm not that coordinated.
I believe you to be.
You're gonna make me say it, aren't you?
Yeah, look at the camera and say it out loud.
I'm gonna do a puppet show.
No.
No, just, I don't like talking about myself, but I'm gonna enter a show.
Yes.
It's on my bucket list.
We're doing it. So, the next time you see the lovely, talented Miss Deanna,
Yeah, I'll have a new design. And a new design.
we're going to do UFE. It's a natural organization, and they're different than OPA in that I love OPA, but it's a little bit more of a show as opposed to a hardcore competition. There's a little bit more room for some creativity. In fitness model, it's really just about having shape, having some definition, but not necessarily being striated and, ridiculous. Like,
I didn't point at her when she said they're ridiculous.
it's a great first show for people just getting into competition.
I don't want to be too built. I don't want to have to kick sand in people's faces, okay? At the beach, I'm not into that. It's just something I just wanted to do. It's always, for the last probably 5-6 years, just been kicking around in my head. I know a few people who've competed, and I thought, what the hey? It's my midlife crisis with no crisis. It's just midlife stuff. I just never had the confidence to pull off when I was younger. Just like, what if someone doesn't like it? What if someone looks at it funny? Who cares? The hardest thing is carving the time to commit to myself, besides all my other commitments, job and family and everything else, to get in here and to make that food prep. Till 2 weeks ago, I dragged my butt in here twice a week. That was it.
You came in here with your husband,
Yep,
and you're the last man standing.
I am. He was gonna come tonight, but he wasn't feeling well. He is my number one fan.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, I can't wait for everybody. If I waited for everybody in my family to get on the wagon, eating, doing whatever, it would never happen. So time's out for me.
We're going to do a show.
Yep.
Are you excited?
Yes and no. I'm excited, but again, I don't want to be on stage in front of a bunch of people.
Because there are people there.
There will be people, apparently on stage and off stage. Nobody asked me to do it. No one told me to do it. It's just something I wanted to do.
Cool.
And I'm the master of my own destiny, right? With you slaving with the whip. I don't like the limelight on me at all. So that's, in its own, that's a challenge for me.
Of course, Alison by my side, the two of us will be prepping you for this experience. And I think we're going to laugh our pants off on a number of occasions.
You have to be able to laugh at yourself. I can picture me stumbling. Oh, well,
We'll get you there.
I'm going.
Hopefully,
And-
we'll get you there without alcohol.
Let me get some of my vodka here before I shut it off.
Chuck's given up his sweets. He's just getting started. We're getting him organized. He asks a lot of questions. I have a lot of hope for Chuck. I
Yep.
think he's going to be fine.
Yep.
Chuck has to trust himself.
Yep.
And
This is all brand new for
we are
Chuck.
all about working on his confidence in the gym
Yep.
and then taking that in the streets and in his life.
Yep.
And I see great things for Chuck, but after I interviewed him, because we just did our first interview with him, I realized, you think this is going to be easy, but watch his body language and listen to his words. We got some work to do.
Yeah,
We have a little more work to do than I thought. So
He was a different
these
Chuck during his
interviews are
interview.
so valuable, right?
Yeah, he. I didn't expect him to be that nervous because what I see of him when he's in here training.
Once I was able to establish a structured routine at the gym, it was time to turn it up. I quickly learned that I was going to have to figure out how to push myself to the next level. This was possibly one of my biggest weaknesses at the start, but such a gratifying feeling when my body started to adapt to the vigorous workouts. One of the things I am most proud of is I learned how to mentally push myself and build up the strength to be able to push my body to limits I didn't think were possible. In the past, when workouts got hard, that's where I would quit. But now, when I hit the point in a workout where fatigue is starting to set in, I'm able to dig in, use it to motivate me, and squeeze out those extra 2 to 3 reps. After workouts like that, and the adrenaline rush that you feel gives you an amazing sense of accomplishment, and I was able to find another avenue of motivation. This RBT project has made me so much stronger physically than I ever been in my whole life. And with being a volunteer firefighter, this has been a huge asset professionally. I am now able to perform tasks on the fireground with a lot more ease compared to in the past, and can now complete many of the physically demanding jobs without fear of hurting or injuring my body. I feel that because of this, I am more of an asset to the fire department. I will say the most important achievement that has been immeasurable for me both personally and professionally is the growth of my confidence. On top of being stronger, I've put on more muscle and am in the best shape of my life. This has helped me feel a lot better about myself and no longer worry about how people perceive me. I've gone from baggy t-shirts in the gym to sleeveless, which was a huge hurdle for me. One particular thing that stands out for me that shows growth in my confidence happened just before Christmas. I fell into a busy time with family and work and was unable to get into the gym as much as I would have liked. In the past, that would have been enough to make me quit. I would have felt like a failure. Now, because of everything I've invested and a better perspective of who I am, I know that a little stumble won't stop me from bettering myself.
Yes. You've been at this how long? Doesn't matter. You know
Long
what?
enough.
I am so excited to see these shoulders are just doing exactly what we want them to do. They're growing, they're getting wider, we're putting on some mass, we're putting in some shape, we're getting some really great strength, and we're keeping it like nice and real, functional. That's gotta feel pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's nice to see some change, and I think just the consistency getting to the gym, and that's what's been so hard in the past, but just sticking with it and trusting in the trainers. They've been through it.
Those are your beliefs.
You've been through, that's right.
Your process. I'm really excited and I can't wait. I know we're only like 3/4 of the way through your radical body transformation, and where we are now, we are like a boulder starting to roll down that hill.
Absolutely.
And I know in this next little section of time between now and our finale, gonna rock this house.
Absolutely.
So crazy.
This is the toughest phase we're heading into. It's the, that end of the road stretch.
Yes.
We're getting close to the finish line and you can almost see it. And this is the time where a lot of people start to fall. So we need to keep just push them.
Snowballs
This
down
is
the hill.
when endurance comes in emotionally.
Yeah.
And we just gotta keep pushing forward.
Stick to itness.
Yep.
Getting to the end.
Let's chat for a minute. So I've been watching you over the last almost year, throughout your journey of health and fitness. Watched you change on the outside and kind of transform into a different shape. But I guess what I want to know from you is, what are you most proud of in this whole journey? What is the thing that you can say you're most proud of?
While I'm not finished, I have certainly achieved more than I thought I was capable of. And the biggest thing is, this is not a temporary thing, it's a lifestyle. I have all these new tools, I have all these new approaches to life and habits that have formed over the past year.
We talked about how you used food as a coping strategy in times of stress. So how have you found that that's changed?
Yes, that was my drug of choice, food. It just changes who you are, where you are, your state right away. Food might change you to dull emotion and to put you in a place where you're not feeling things, but it doesn't fix anything.
Right.
So now I don't need it.
Your internal health, cholesterol, blood sugars, tell me how that's changed for you.
I was diagnosed with metabolic syndrome, which my understanding of it, I have no medical background whatsoever, but my understanding of it is that it's a spiral where Your high blood pressure causes your cholesterol to go up, causes your blood sugar to go up, causes you to have mood swings. It causes you just to feel fatigue and just overall bad. And within a month of starting this program and all the exercise and diet changes, and I made a lot of mistakes on the diet changes, by the way. It took the whole process to fix them all up. But my numbers improved drastically within a month, 1 month, and then they have slowly been improving ever since. So everything's within normal. There's always room for improvement, but there's no concerns there whatsoever.
That's amazing.
No medication.
That's amazing. That's
I'm the #1 grocery shopper. And it started with, I told the kids that they could have whatever junk they wanted as long as I didn't like it. And their reaction was, there isn't anything. They are choosing better eating habits. My youngest is eating a salad every day. He has started to work out. He's feeling better about himself. It's improved our whole lifestyle. You know, everybody always said this, but once you start cleaning up your diet and your exercise and your routines, your house gets cleaner, your house gets tidier, you become less of a pack rat, you become more conscious of how much time you spent pigging out or eating junk or drugging yourself into a stupor. You know, it's almost like you're drinking or doing drugs because you just start vegging. You don't spend as much money. People think you do, but you don't. I spend less time grocery shopping. I spend less time cooking. I prepare ahead of time, and it's just natural habits now. It's not having to force myself or think about it too much.
I keep hearing how great your golf swing is. So can you talk about that just for a minute?
I'm not that good of a golfer, but I enjoy it. And I'm enjoying it much more because my stamina, I can do more, I can last more. I can come to the gym in the morning and golf in the afternoon and last and feel good at the end of the day. Tired, but good. Used to be dragging my butt after 18 holes of walking. I am enjoying it more because of that. My swing is better. My range of motion has improved to the point that I can swing more. I can reach for things in the cupboard. I don't think about it as much now.
How far can I push? How much can I trust my body? And kind of discovering that throughout this process, especially coming from injury.
I'm better at defining that myself now. I'm better at finding that edge and trusting that it shouldn't hurt. It should just feel like that's all you can do.
Right.
And finding that and knowing the next time you might be able to do a little bit more, or just give it some time and you will. And trusting that your body will adjust. It does.
What's next for you? You've come this far, you've achieved all of this, now what?
I have decided I'm going to become a personal trainer to take this to the next level. I became a yoga teacher last year, first level, and I would like to explore that a little bit more. I didn't think I'd ever teach, and I have been teaching, and I really enjoy it. I think it's really good for body and mind. I want to bring my percentage of body fat down to about 25%, so I have a little ways to go on that, but it feels good. It's good to have goals.
Absolutely.
Because you need to
know if you're accomplishing something.
Yes.
If you're moving forward.
Yes.
You need something to measure that by.
Otherwise, there's no end. And there really isn't an end, and that's okay too. But little goals give you markers along the way that you can celebrate just within yourself. I'd like to retire, but this will be what I can do in retirement.
Finding something you have interest in. And I think you love being educated. That's the one thing with you, is you always want to know why. Whenever we're doing anything, it's why am I doing this? What should I be feeling? What's the purpose? And I think that's, for me, I love that.
Don't want injuries at all. So your form is so important, and if people don't understand why, they don't necessarily follow the correct form. So yes, I have a little bit of a passion about that.
I'll be turning 48 soon, and I want women to know they're just numbers. They don't mean anything anymore. That's gone, and it's what we make it and how we can aspire to just get better and better as we age.
Stay tuned, everybody. I'm just excited to see what's in store for the rest of the season.
They're blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Yes, Alison and myself, as the coaches over there at Bodilogix, every day we have to talk about somebody or a number of people because they are just blowing our minds. It's been some tough moments and some amazing moments and some all marbled up. And how can you not be inspired to take that energy that they're giving you and do something with that constructive? We look at Deanna at the beginning, it was like she's presents herself well, she always carried her weight well, right?
Yeah, it didn't appear like she had this great transformation necessarily to make. Just by first
She's down
look.
10% body fat.
Yeah. From where?
That's crazy,
Right.
Like we've got her in such a sweet spot, and then for her, she's doing cardio the other night to say, talking about posing suits, and we're like, okay,
What?
like you don't wear those on the beach.
I know, I'm so shocked.
And no, the show, I'm doing a show, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like who would be more fun to prepare for a show than Deanna? Like she's just full of beans and full of life, and
Well, it's her bucket
do I
list.
start practicing my heels now?
I know.
Sure, get them on.
Yep.
Say nice. They're all on here until
Do you want this tightened at all, or do you feel comfortable?
shorts and a bunch of tall. I'm like, we good? Suck. She's gonna goober it on me. I think after the first one, it'll come. Yeah, it's a fake. It's a fake. So after I do this, and then it's. You want to know the secret? You gotta take a big breath and go.
For you. That was awesome. I'm glad you saw it. I missed everything. I was at the back going, oh my God, I'm wrong.
No, I'm gonna do right now.
You want to do me right now? She's going to do me right now. Do me like this. Oh my God, I wanted to cry the first time around. I'm not nervous. I wasn't nervous at all. And then I get up there, it's like, you're there. It's like giving birth, and there's no backing out. Yeah, I know, Adrian, maybe you'll know one of these days.
What are you thinking? What's going through your head?
How much ass am I actually showing? Oh my God, I have children out there. We're gonna rock this city
Well,
tonight.
you look fantastic. We're proud of you, and we can't wait to see you later tonight.
Slow-mo. Ready?
Now that you've come off stage, what's your first thought? Like, can you believe you did it?
Eat.
What was going through your brain?
Don't fall, don't trip, and elbow all them bitches out of the way because I was always last. And it's really holistic stuff I'm sniffing, just in case. My foot's green.
This is the end of Deanna's radical body transformation, and dare I say, Deanna has in fact made a radical body transformation. Holy moly. Not only did we make a radical body transformation, but we won something. First of all, I have to know, what was it like?
Incredible. You know what? It just went by so fast. I don't know what else to say. You know what? It hasn't sunk in. It absolutely hasn't sunk in. Maybe tomorrow morning when I wake up.
She's followed the diet. She's done everything that she needed to do because, of course, Deanna, you wanted it. This is on our bucket list. I think we can cross that off.
I'm glad you were with me all the way. Right now, it's not something I think I'll pursue. You never know, though. Never say never.
It's a relationship that I will remember. I know you're not leaving my life, because I would cry if you were. But I just look forward to see what you're going to come up with next, because I know your journey's
Wild and crazy.
not ultimately over.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna run 5 clicks tomorrow. I'm gonna do that 5-kilometer one tomorrow. Actually, I'm gonna do dishes.
Now we're going to go stuff our mouths with pizza and beer.
I have green and blue and purple toes.
To go? I got my new muscle here you showed me.
I like that.
The best lesson I've learned with the new me is that I didn't quit. I got back at it, and after a few solid workouts, I was able to see that the progress I've made was still visible. Now that this part of the journey is coming to an end, I look forward to see what I can do in the next chapter. My newfound belief in myself has taken me to new levels professionally as well. I have ventured my way out of my comfort zone at my day job and took on some courses and training that I may have been too intimidated to attempt a year ago. I was able to successfully achieve high grades in my training and have now taken on bigger roles at work and have proven to be a valuable part of the team. It's been a long ride in year 1 in the making of the new me, but worth every step of the way. I've learned more about who I am and what I am capable of achieving than I could ever imagine. I hope, as my kids get older, they can look back on my journey and see that no matter how unrealistic something may appear, that with hard work, determination, and the courage to step out of their comfort zone, that they too can realize their potential and that there are no limits when it comes to going after something they want.
Chuck
Yes, here we are.
We sat in this gym ago. I actually approached your wife and said, you know, you would love to do this really super cool radical body transformation. I could totally see you doing this. It would really move you forward. And she said, I'd think about it. And then I was waiting and she said no. And I was like, what? And then she said, but you know, Chuck is interested. And I was like, you kidding me? Didn't see that coming. And then you came in, we set it up, we did that interview, and I swear to God, Chuck, you turned as green as your shirt. You're like a different guy, like I gotta tell you.
My wife did that whole RBT thing without having the title of RBT behind it. Her body transformed so much just with the work she put into it. And then and that's when I guess I first started realizing how much diet is important on top of the workout. And I've always, maybe it's the immature way, I've always wanted to get big muscles and get big in the gym, but I could never stick with it because I wasn't seeing the results I wanted. And just witnessing her firsthand going through that whole process without the cameras and that on her, I'm like, wow, she can do that. Like if I really buckle down and pull that off. So when I heard about it, wasn't too crazy with the camera in the face, but I thought that might be a way to keep you on it because you're gonna have the camera on you at the start and at the end, and you don't want to not have results.
Tell me about your time being an RBTer.
Well, it's definitely something I needed at the time. I just don't think I realized how much I needed it. Finding the mental and the physical strength to stick with it and not give up after a few months of it. Getting the diet on track, and that motivates you to keep working out and it keeps you coming back. That there was a probably the most difficult step, but once I got through that, the workouts came easy.
I love training with you. It's like a highlight of my day because you take it on every time and give it like 110.
Sometimes you don't see the results you like, or you're trying so hard and there's nothing. Once you started showing me the diet and the proper foods and when to eat, cut out the midnight snacks, and you start to see how it all works together. And then when the results started happening, then there's the motivation to come back too.
I couldn't get you to wear a tank top.
No.
I couldn't hardly get you to wear a t-shirt.
No.
And then now I don't see you without one, which I
No.
love. You were so paranoid. You were so concerned about your shoulders and this tattoo
Absolutely.
that was done many years ago.
Yeah.
And now you walk in the door.
I got
with
some
this
art.
amazing-
The most important achievement I got out of this project was my confidence. Just in the way you carry yourself. Like I said, I'm not afraid to throw the shirt on anymore. I don't really care how people perceive me. People can tell you that all you want your whole life, but until you believe that in your own mind, you're not going to be able to portray that. One thing this thing's taught me is just have fun with it. If you can't have fun with it, then it's going to be harder to move forward. I'm going to try to take it to another level now and maybe not have the pressures of reaching certain goals. I can now work at my own pace, and
I see you on stage in board shorts. Am I crazy?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about
Because
that.
I don't think I'm crazy at all. I think if you asked me that 18 months ago, yes,
Yeah.
I'm crazy. But the Chuck that I know today, I can totally see it.
Yeah, well, you know what? Anything's possible, I guess. Anything can happen.
It's called Our Watches Are Too Big for Our Wrist Club. What time is it, you say?